And we're going to take our ball over to our mat with us and see how our back is doing. And let's start by bringing our knees to our chest and just hug them in a little bit and make some circles. And circle in the opposite direction. And then we're going to put our feet down, arms just gently come over our head. And let's take a few breaths. Feel the chest opening and lengthening. And 3 more breaths. Let's see if we can stretch the toes out at the same time. And now we're going to lengthen the arms even more over the head. And as we bring the arms down, we're going to lift the hips up. And let's do a few of these. So evenly pressing in the right leg and the left leg. And let's do a couple more. And the last one, we're going to bring the arms down as the hips lift up. Walk our shoulder blades closer so we lift a little bit higher. And press the feet down, and let's take a few more breaths. And then we're going to slowly bring the hips down, and let's come into our spinal twist, knees over to the right. And let's stretch the left arm out and lengthen across the chest. And 2 more breaths. And let's try this on the other side, bringing the knees to the left and stretch the right arm out. And let's take a few more breaths. And now we're going to come back to the center, and we're going to put our hands behind our head and bring the right knee to the left arm, elbow, and do a few more. And then 1 more to each leg, each side. And we're going to start our regular crunches, lifting and lowering. And 2 more like this. And now let's do a few more as we straighten the legs up, extending the legs, and tap the feet down and do a few more. See if you can lengthen through the heels. So we're stretching the back of the legs and the calf muscles. We're still keeping our elbows wide. And 2 more. And now we're going to do our bicycles, elbow to knee, and stretch the leg out. And then one more. And let's put our feet down. We're going to roll our hips up again. And deep breaths. And one more breath. So grab a hold of your ball and let's roll it underneath our back. And we're going to take our legs 90 degrees, so bending the knees. And let's start by opening the knees out as we flex the feet. Just slowly, a couple of times, waking up the inner legs. And now we're going to lift the legs straight up and do big backwards bicycles just with the legs. And wake up our hips. So every time we're doing this, we're kind of squeezing the knee in and the hip, bringing in more blood flow for our hips, a really good thing. Now let's go in the opposite direction. And one more. And then we're going to bring our legs back to 90 degrees and reach the arms up over the chest. Right leg and left arm come down, and then we're going to switch. Doing our little bug pose. And then we're going to do one more. And let's take the legs straight up and we're going to reach the arms forward and lift the chest up. And then bend the legs. We're going to take the legs straight out and as the arms go over the head and do a few of these. So we're going to do them in slow motion to make it a little harder. We've got to balance on the ball as well as our shoulder blades. And it's easier when you squeeze the legs together. And 3 more. This is our last one. And let's bring the knees back to the chest, kind of hug the legs in. And with our hands on the knees, we're going to make a few circles. Really slowly, but also feel the balance as we're on the ball. Notice how the hips are working, the sacrum. And we're going to circle in the opposite direction. And then we're going to put the left foot down and lengthen the right leg up and bring the arms down. And let's point and flex the right foot, waking up the back of the right leg. And now we're going to circle the foot all the way around. And then circle in the opposite direction. And we're going to point the toes and make our big circles. So we're going to do 3 in one direction. Nice long leg. As you press the left foot down. And then we're going to do 3 in the other direction. And now let's cross the ankle over the left thigh. We're going to start with that stretch. As we bring the navel to the spine, press the hip away and down. Feel that pressure into the hip. And as we release, so the blood starts to flow more, we're going to lift and lower the legs 5 times. And on this last one, we're going to hold the legs up. So we're going to add a little bit more pressure to the glutes, the hip, and take 3 more breaths. And now let's release. So as we bring our left foot down, we're uncrossing, putting the right foot down, lifting the left leg up. And we're going to start the same way, pointing and flexing with the left foot. And feel those muscles working. Now we're going to make circles with the left foot. And then circle in the opposite direction. And make sure the knee isn't moving, it's just the ankle, the foot. And we're pointing the toes and making big circles, 3 in one direction. And 3 in the other direction. And let's cross the ankle over the right thigh. We're going to start with that stretch. Feel that pressure coming down and out with that left knee. And then release so we can lift and lower 5 times. So with all of these things we're doing systematically, we're helping the joints, the tendons, and the ligaments. So we're a little bit more flexible and mobile. And now we're going to hold the legs up and take a few breaths. And last deep breath. And let's release. So we're going to bring our foot down and uncross. Let's lift up again. So now we're going to stretch the whole area out and lift even higher. And let's roll the ball away. And we're going to come on over to our left side. And come on the left forearm, and we've been working on our outer hip. So we're going to bend the left leg in so it's in line with the hip. We're going to lift up and lift and lower the right leg up and down, extending through the heel. And 5 more. And last time. And we're coming down. Let's flip ourselves over to the right side, the right hip, right forearm. And we're going to bend the right leg behind us. Make sure the alignment is just right. And let's lift up, and we're going to lift and lower the left leg. And 5 more. And last one. And let's come on down here. So we're going to sit up in our cross-legged position, crisscross applesauce, and let's hinge forward. So again, we're squeezing the hips a little bit as we lengthen forward. And walk the arms to the right. And then over to the left. And let's come back to the center. Let's do our big reaching the arms up, clapping the hands, bringing the arms down, and do that 2 more times. Really lengthening through the arms. And as we bring the arms up this time, let's clasp our hands, reach them up even more. Take a deep breath. And then we're going to bring them down and slowly twist to the right. And take a few breaths. And let's twist to the other side. And then in the center, we're going to do our side stretch, right hand down and left arm over. And let's go to the other side. And we're going to come back to the center. So let's reach our arms out to the side and flip the palms up. Notice how the shoulders roll down. So we're lengthening. We're going to look straight ahead and touch each finger to the thumb. So we're waking up the fingers, the arms. Let's do a couple more times. And now we're going to bring our hands over our head again. And let's stretch the palms up again, lengthening. This time we're leaning to the right. And then leaning to the left. And let's bring ourselves to the center, arms come down, and we're going to stretch the legs forward. So we haven't done this in a while, we're going to do our little rowboats. So we're going to hinge forward as we reach forward and back and press the legs down into the mat. So activating the back of the legs, and let's do a couple more. And this time we're going to bring our hands behind us, behind the hips, and roll the shoulders down. And just take a couple of breaths here, navel to spine. So we're stretching everything out. Now we're going to release that and cross our right leg over the left, twist to the right. And then coming back to the center, uncrossing, crossing the left leg over the right, twisting to the left. And one more breath. And let's come back to the center and uncross and do the big V with the feet together and hinging forward. So another thing for the hips, the back. And let's take a few slow breaths. And we're going to come on up. And let's make our way over to hands and knees for our cat-cows. And feel the whole spine lengthening. And let's do one more. And now into puppy pose, reaching the arms forward. And then we're going to come down to sphinx. And for a couple of breaths here, as you feel the belly reaching forward and we're rolling the shoulders down, feel the length of the whole spine all the way down to your tailbone. And let's come into our half arm plank. And into sphinx pose. And we're going to sit back on our heels and take a few breaths. And walk the arms to the right. And then over to the left. And back to the center, reaching, lengthening. And now we're going to come on up to our downward dog. And press each heel down, feel the back of the leg opening up. And then come up on the toes, lifting up. And we're going to lower the heels and try that again. Lifting up and stretching the toes. And now let's walk forward to the top of our mat. And forward fold. And let's come all the way up. We're going to reach the arms up and stretch. And bring our hands to our heart. And let's twist the upper body to the right, over to the left, and back to the center. Inhaling up, forward fold. Let's step the right leg back and take a couple of breaths. See if you can lengthen or deepen into the hip. And now we're stepping back to downward dog. Take a deep breath. We're going to lift our right leg up and step the leg forward. And the left, halfway up. Forward fold, and we're coming up again, reaching up as we look up. Hands come to our heart. Let's twist the upper body to the left and over to the right, back to the center. Inhale up, forward fold, and left leg steps back. And we're going to take a couple of deep breaths here, lengthening deeper into the hip. Step the right leg back to downward dog. Left leg lifts up and steps forward. And the right, halfway up, forward fold. And let's come all the way up again. So as we come up, we're going to look straight ahead and reach the arms up. And we're going to come up on our toes. And we're going to go up and down 3 times, just kind of waking up our feet. 1 more. And then let's come into a forward fold. Just kind of dive down Take a breath in the forward fold. We're going to step the right leg back. This time, left arm up in our twist. And let's come back to downward dog. And right leg lifts up, steps forward. And the left. We're coming halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. And let's come all the way back up. And reach the arms up again, looking straight ahead. This time we're going to take the right knee up, collect the hands, arms come back up overhead, and then the left knee lifts up, clap the hands underneath the left leg. One more time to each leg. The right knee, and then the left knee. And forward fold. We're going to step our left leg back. And now let's reach the right arm up in our twist. And come back to downward dog. Left leg lifts up and steps forward. And the right, halfway up. Forward fold, and let's come all the way up again, reaching up, and then hands come to our heart and roll the shoulders down. So we're going to clasp our hands, or if you can, your forearms behind you as you roll the shoulders down. Just comfortably take a couple of breaths, navel to the spine. So holding the hands or the arms, we're standing on the right leg, taking our left leg out and in 5 times. One more. And let's switch legs. So now we're taking the right leg out and in 5 times. And one more. And then both feet are down. And let's bring the arms down by our sides and just kind of feel that. Just notice. So now we're going to bend the right leg behind us and then take the knee forward and back, kind of like a pendulum clock. And just 2 more. And last time. And then right foot comes down. Take a breath. We're going to try the same thing. So we're standing on the right foot, bending the left leg behind us. And we're going to bring the knee forward and the leg back. And 2 more. And now the left foot comes down. Let's inhale the arms up and reach up. Forward fold. And let's come back to downward dog and take 3 more breaths. We're going to come in our plank and do a few mountain climbers. So one knee down and then the other. And let's make our way all the way down to our belly. We're going to do our 5 cobras. And one more. And let's bring our hands underneath the thighs and bring the legs together, pointing the toes, and take a deep breath. And let's lift everything up and lower everything down, and 4 more. And now we're going to make our way back to child's pose. And let's take a few breaths. And let's sit up on our heels. And we're going to reach the arms up overhead. And bring our hands together over the head, elbows wide. And take a deep breath. We're going to bring our arms down and twist to the right. And then let's twist to the left. And we're going to come to the center so we can come to hands and knees. And let's try our thread the needle, reaching our right arm out to the right and threading it underneath the left. And 2 more breaths. And let's come back to the center. And we're going to switch sides. Left arm reaches out, thread it underneath the right. And 2 more breaths. And let's come back to the center. And now we're going to come into our puppy pose, bringing the elbows down and hands behind our head. And press the hips away. 3 more breaths. And let's come back to our sphinx so we can see about our lower back. Hopefully it's feeling a little bit longer in there as we press the forearms down, and a couple more breaths. And let's come down again as we reach the arms over our head. And we're going to bend the right leg and lift and lower the right leg 5 times. And 1 more. And then we're going to switch legs as we bend the left, lift and lower 5 times. And then bring the leg down. And now let's reach the arms out in a T and put our right ear on the mat and lift the left leg up behind us as we lengthen and twist and breathe. And 2 more breaths. And then we're going to bring our leg down and switch. So left ear comes down to the mat, right arm reaches up, and lengthen behind for that extra stretch and twist. And 2 more breaths. And now we're going to come back to the center and make our way back to another child's pose. And take 3 breaths. And then downward dog. Let's lift our right leg up. And we're going to come into high lunge, stepping the leg forward, reaching up. And 3 breaths. And twist to the right, cross the arm over, hands come together. And then left fingers down, right arm up. And back to down dog. And left leg up, step forward to high lunge. And take 3 more breaths. And twist to the left, arm crosses over, hands together. And right fingers down, left arm up. And let's come on back to our downward dog and take a deep breath. And as we lengthen the hips higher, now we're going to come forward to plank and stretch, and then back to dog. And one more time, forward to plank, and back to dog, and stay here for a deep breath. We're going to lift our right leg up and come into warrior 2. And reverse. And now we're going to bring the forearm down, left arm reaches over. And reverse. And let's slowly lengthen the right fingers down on the inside of the right leg. Left arm reaches up. And then back to warrior 2. And into Trikonasana, straightening the right leg. And we're going to come all the way up to standing, so we're in our wide-legged pose. Let's reach the arms up, clasp our hands again over the head, looking up, and then forward fold. We're going to bring our hands down and go side to side with the legs, transverse lunges. And let's walk over for a right side lunge. Take a couple of breaths. And then over to the other side. Back to the center for our forward fold, 3 breaths. And now we're going to come all the way up, reaching up. And into warrior 2, turning our left foot out, right heel out. And reverse. Now we're going to bring the forearm down, reach the right arm over, Feel that lengthening. And then come back to reverse again. Right arm down, left arm up. And let's slide the left arm down the left leg, right arm reaches up. And then warrior two. And Trikonasana, straightening the left leg, right arm up. And let's come all the way up, and we're going to take the right arm down, left arm over. See if you can roll the chest open. And let's try that on the other side, left arm down, right arm over. And we're coming back to the center. We're going to clasp our hands behind us and inhale up, forward fold, and 3 more breaths. And then into our umpire pose. So bending the legs, lifting the chest, coming deeper into the hip. And a couple more breaths. Now we're going to come all the way up and reach up. And into goddess pose, turning our feet out and bringing the arms in and out. And let's take a couple more breaths. We're going to come back up and into our downward dog. And we're going to try our pigeon pose. So let's lift our right leg up, bend the knee, roll the hip open, and bring the right knee between our thumbs as we scoot the left leg back and come up on our fingertips for our back bend. And forward fold. And make sure you're right in the center so you're not leaning to the right or the left. And 3 more breaths. And let's come back to our downward dog. And take a couple of breaths. And we're going to switch legs. Left leg lifts up, bend the knee, roll the hip open, and bring the left knee between the thumbs as we scoot the right leg back and come up on our fingertips for our back bend. And into our forward fold. And 3 more breaths. And let's come back to our downward dog. So we can take a few breaths here and feel the difference in the whole body. And 1 more breath. Let's walk to the top of our mat. And we're going to hold our elbows and take 3 more breaths. And let's come all the way up and reaching up, feeling the length of the whole spine. We're going to bring our hands to our heart and roll the shoulders down. And let's hold our right foot. So if you can't hold it, just bend it behind you. We're testing our balance. If you want to hold it, you can reach the left arm up for dancer, stretching the right quad. And then we're going to release and switch legs and do the same thing as we hold, if you can, the left foot as the right arm reaches up. One more breath. And now let's put that left foot down. We're going to come into our squat. Take a few breaths. And feel the difference in your spine. And 3 more breaths. And we're going to come into a seated position for a second. So we're going to reach the legs out in front of us, just like we were doing before, and press the legs down and just take a couple of breaths as you sit up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders down. Now we're going to do Janu Shirsasana and kind of bring the right leg in like tree as we twist to the right. And now we're going to hinge forward toward the left leg and take a few breaths. And one more breath. And we're coming up, straightening the right leg and take a breath. Just kind of notice the difference in that leg. And we're going to bend the left leg in like tree as we twist to the left and extend through the right heel. And now let's try our forward fold. And 3 more breaths. And we're going to release as we come on up, straighten our left leg out and take a deep breath. And then we're going to roll down on our back and let's come into our happy baby. And just close our eyes. We're going to rock a little side to side. And then we're going to bring our feet together in Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. And 3 more breaths. And let's put our feet down flat on the mat. We're going to roll the hips up. And a couple more slow breaths, walking the shoulder blades closer together. And let's roll the hips back down and lengthen the legs for our final pose of Shavasana. For a few more moments, just feeling the shape of your body on your mat, softening the hands and the fingers, noticing how the shoulder blades are rolling away from the ears and the hips and legs are lengthening. Feel your breath in your belly, the mid-chest, and the upper chest. And notice any kind of tingling or energy as you inhale and you exhale. With each inhale, we're bringing in energy and vitality. And feeling your slow exhales. We're also wishing good health and peace for our homes, our families, our communities, for our country, and for our brothers and sisters all over the world. And we're going to slowly begin to deepen our breath and wiggle the fingers and the toes. And let's stretch the arms over our head with a nice deep breath. And roll to the side. And we're going to press ourselves up for our seated position. And let's bring our hands together to our heart and seal in our practice today. Taking a deep inhale and sigh. One more time. Namaste. Thanks, ladies, for coming today. Have a wonderful Thursday.
Thank you.
Marion.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, good luck, Thea.
I think she already left. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.